but Abigail was there. She helped me pick up the broken pieces of my heart and sewed them back together. She was there for me when I would wake up from nightmares about my past, and I thought that we were only right for one another. I've always adorned Abigail ever since we were 18. We were fresh out of high school and were planning on going to the same college. Everything was fine until her parents went through her phone and found out she was bi. They told her it was against their religion and that they couldn't have a daughter in their house who had demons working in her. They decided to kick her out, and she had nowhere to go. We were young and broke, and we couldn't stay with my parents because the college we were going to was out of state. So I sold everything I had to build up savings for us. We packed up her things, and I got a job to provide for us. That is how I ended up in the military. Now all I had left of her was this note. Everything in our lives had been scattered away, all because she decided that getting into bed with some man was worth so much more than everything we have ever built together. She left behind everything we had for him. The realization made my heart ache. I walked into the bathroom and turned the knob on the broken door. The knob and half of the door broke off into my hand as I tried to pull on it. I sighed and looked in the mirror. My eyes were bloodshot, and bags hung underneath. I left the apartment and went to the liquor store. Days turned into weeks, and I could feel myself losing control over my life. I spiraled into a dark abyss. The PTSD I'd fought so hard to control took over, and I drowned my sorrows in alcohol. Abigail had been my lifeline, and now she was gone. She was the only stability I'd known. It was my best friend Mark who found me one night in a dingy bar. We had served together in the military and grown close. He didn't say a word when he saw the state I was in, the empty bottles, the mess. He simply hauled me to my feet and took me to his place. I resisted at first, but Mark stayed by my side. He didn't lecture me or anything like that. He just stayed there with me until I could sober up a bit. The withdrawal was brutal. My body jerked and trembled at night. I would often wake up in cold sweats. I craved the numbness I felt when I drank. I was tired of having to deal with my emotions. With Mark's help, I started to piece my life back together. It wasn't easy, and every day was a struggle. The cravings didn't disappear. The pain didn't magically go away. I learned how to manage my PTSD better, but I found a glimmer of hope in the routine. Months passed, and I was starting to feel like myself again. I went to the mall on a Saturday. As I approached the shoe store, I saw a familiar figure out of the corner of my eye. I almost didn't believe it at first, but there she was, Abigail. She was standing outside a baby clothing store, holding the hand of a man who could only be the father of her child, the man she had chosen over me. It had been months since I'd seen her, and the shock of her appearance hit me like a punch to the gut. Abigail looked awful. The vibrant woman I had loved was nowhere to be seen.